Hi everyone. In today's video, we're going to learn how to draft a termination clause. Well, this is one of the most practical and important clauses which forms a part of every contract. So let's understand in detail what a termination clause is, what are the core elements of a termination clause. We'll take up quick scenario and based on that, we will draft a termination clause in this video. So the first thing to understand is what exactly is a termination clause. The purpose of a termination clause is number one, to specify the condition and the process for ending agreements. This helps any party avoid confusion, sudden exits, or the chances of any disputes after the agreement. Now, without it, what happens? One party can leave without warning or leave the other party stuck. The purpose of this clause in any contract is to give clarity. How will the contract end and what if things don't go as planned? These five are the core elements of any termination clauses. Number one, the term of the agreement. Number two, are you going to do termination for convenience? Number three, termination for cause. Number four, what will be the consequences of termination? And finally, what clauses remain even after agreement ends? Let's understand all of these five elements in a little more detail. When I say term of the agreement, that part in a termination clause defines the contract length, whether it is for 1 year or 2 years, after which the parties can terminate the contract. When I say termination for convenience, it means that either of the party can voluntarily end the agreement by giving a written notice to the other party. It's typically 30 days or 60 days in advance. Termination for cause means that the contract can be ended by one of the parties if there is a major breach. It could be a non-payment, confidentiality violation, or even failure to perform. Consequences of termination is another important element. It addresses what happens to pending payments, what happens to return of materials, or what about the completion of ongoing work. And finally, survival clauses you what contractual obligations still even after the agreement is terminated. It could be confidentiality, indemnity, or dispute resolution. Now let's take up a quick example and draft a termination clause. So let's say that there is a company called Brightspace Studios and it's a video production film. They have given a 1 year service agreement to a marketing agency. It's called AdVista and it is creating video for their clients every month. In the next 6 months, AdVista starts missing payments and it starts delaying feedback as well. Brightspace can't keep working in this scenario. Now, if they have a clear termination clause, Brightspace can actually formally end the agreement by giving notice instead of being stuck with AdVista. So let's see how you can draft a termination clause for their service agreement in this video. Now, the first step would be to define the term of the agreement. How do you draft this? You will say the agreement shall come into effect on the effective date. Now, effective date is something that will already be put in the definitions and shall continue for a period of, it could be 1 year, 2 year, I'm just putting out 12 months, unless terminated earlier in accordance with this agreement. Now, why have I written unless terminated earlier in accordance with this clause? Because there could be a termination for cause. There is a breach by the other party, and that's why it could be terminated earlier as well. Moving on to the second one. You add a termination for convenience. This is when either of the parties can simply terminate the agreement by giving advance notice. So we can simply write either of the parties can terminate the agreement by giving 30 days written notice in advance to the other party. As simple as that. Now we write termination or cause. Here you can write either party may terminate the agreement immediately upon written notice if there is any, let's say, material breach of the agreement that is not remedied or either of the parties becoming insolvent. Now, here is where you could give multiple reasons also. So, for example, if this is an employment agreement, your termination for cause could have reasons such as disciplinary action against the employee. If this is a material supply agreement, it could be non-payment or non-supply of material. If this is, let's say, a service agreement, it could be a material breach or even breaching the confidentiality clauses. So here, multiple reasons could appear based on the kind of agreement you have. I'm just taking few simple ones for your understanding. Then we go ahead and specify the consequences of termination. So we can say upon termination, the client shall pay for all completed work up to the date of termination. Each party shall return or destroy confidential information belonging to the other party, and any ongoing deliverables shall be completed only if agreed in writing. Finally, we will move on to survival clauses. So what is it that will survive even after the contract has been ended? For this, we use the non-obstante clause. So we start with notwithstanding. Why? Because even after the termination or expiry of the agreement, because of the term, provisions of confidentiality, IP, indemnity, limitation of liability, and dispute resolution shall continue to remain in force, because we want to protect the parties. Even if the contract is not ongoing, they should be protected. And with these 5 elements of defining the term of convenience, termination for convenience, termination for cause, the consequences of termination, and survival clauses, you have successfully drafted a termination clause. It's easy to understand. It's easy to understand and very important part of every single contract that you will come across. Of course, these headings will not appear. You will write the clause entirely. I'm just writing this so that you understand better. And yes, this is how you can draft the termination. Hope you like this. Let me know in the comments if you have any doubts. What are your views on drafting this? I will come back with another video and we'll learn how to draft more clauses in a contract. You should definitely leave out in the comments on what is it that you're looking to learn, and I'll try and create a video around that as well. Don't forget to give a thumbs up or like this video and share your comments. That would be really great. I'm Nidhi signing off, but I'll see you all very, very soon. Bye bye.